morning, dear students. I am Ms. Navida Sheikh from Brahan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika MCGM virtual class. I welcome all my dear students to another and interesting session. In today's session, we'll be learning something new and interesting from a science textbook. So let's get started. Good morning, dear students. I am Mrs. Navida Sheikh from MCGM virtual class. I welcome all my dear students to another and interesting session. In today's class, we'll be learning a very interesting chapter from your Science 1 textbook, and the chapter's name is Metallurgy. Now, this is the second part of the chapter. We have already uploaded a video on metallurgy part 1. Now, that part will help you understand about the basic concept about what are metals, what are non-metals, the chemical properties, the physical properties of metals and non-metals, how they react with water, oxygen and acids. So that is a very interesting video. Please do go and watch that video. That will help you to understand this part in a much better way. So without wasting time, let's continue ahead and learn something new and interesting in this chapter, metallurgy. The first thing that we are going to study today is ionic compounds. Now, what exactly are ionic compounds? Ionic bonds, you have learned the basic concept in your previous standards. Okay, the compounds which are formed from two units, namely cations and anions, are called ionic compounds. What are cations, what are anions? We have already explained you in the chapter chemical reactions. So do go and watch that video if you have any doubts and queries regarding cations and anions. The cations and anions being positively charged, there is an electrostatic force of attraction between them. ठीक है, तो नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव चार्ज की वजह से दोनों के बीच में अट्रैक्शन होता है एंड दैट हेल्प्स them to make a bond. Okay, so you know that this force of attraction between cations and anion is called as the ionic bond. ठीक है, so because of this negative and positive charged in the two units, in the two compounds that are there, when they have this opposite charge, there is a strong attraction between them, and when they attract with each other they form a bond, and that bond is called as an ionic bond. The number of cations and anions in a compound and the magnitude of the electric charge on them is such that the positive एंड द नेगेटिव चार्ज बैलेंसेस ईच अदर. ठीक है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि जैसे कि हमारे अंदर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लूज़ करते हैं तो पॉजिटिव हो जाते हैं और गेन करते हैं तो नेगेटिव हो जाते हैं. तो हियर इन ऑर्डर टू मेंटेन अ बैलेंस बिटवीन ईच अदर, these have equal number of positive and negative charged among themselves. As a result, an ionic compound is electrically neutral, means now their outermost orbit will have complete octet and they will not chemically react with other elements or compounds. Okay, so they become electrically neutral. So here you can see this chlorine and sodium, these elements, when they complete by sharing electrons, okay, when they give or when they take electrons, that way they are forming a bond between each other, and that is nothing but an ionic bond, and that compound which is formed is called as a ionic compound. Ionic compounds are crystalline in nature. Here you can see a picture of a crystal, sodium chloride crystals. Here you can see the surface of all the particles of the crystalline substance have a definite shape and are smooth and shiny. अगर आप लोग नमक देखते हो, ठीक है, तो हम लोग नमक के जो जाड़ा नमक हम लोग यूज़ करते हैं तो वो कुछ नहीं है, वो क्रिस्टल्स हैं. ठीक है, तो दोज क्रिस्टल्स if you see it closely you will find that the structure is smooth. अगर आप लोग उसे feel करोगे तो you will find that it has a definite shape, they are smooth and they are shiny. The regular arrangement of ions in the solid ionic compound is responsible for their crystalline nature. ठीक है, तो ये आयनिक बॉन्ड के वजह से ये क्रिस्टलाइन नेचर इनके अंदर फॉर्म होता है. The arrangement of ions in different ionic compound and therefore the shape of their crystals are different. हर कंपाउंड के अंदर एक अलग स्ट्रक्चर होता है, ठीक है, आयनिक कंपाउंड का. दैट इज वाई एवरी क्रिस्टल इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर क्रिस्टल. द मेन फैक्टर दैट डिटरमाइंस द जनरल अरेंजमेंट ऑफ द आयन इज इन अ क्रिस्टल इज द अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स बिटवीन द oppositely charged ions and the repulsive force between the similarly charged ions. All right, so how much charge with how much charge they are repelling each other, how much charge they are attracting each other. That way, that defines the structure of the crystal that is there. Okay. Two of the important factors responsible for a certain crystal structure are as follows. The first one is size of positively and negatively charged ions. Here you can see how big, how small they are, and the magnitude of the electrically charged on the ion. Means kitna electrical charge is present on that ion. That also defines the shape of the crystal that has been formed. Alright. The electrostatic attraction in the neighboring ion with opposite charge is very strong, and that is why the melting points of ionic compounds are high. Also, the ionic compounds are hard and brittle. Hard means if I want to break it, okay, it will break, but it will require energy. So, the ionic bonds are very difficult to break, and they can break easily also in some cases. Properties of ionic compounds. The general properties of ionic compounds are as follows. The attractive force between the positively and negatively charged ion is strong. Therefore, the ionic compound exists in solid state and are hard. Here you can see crystals. They are in which state? They are in solid state, right? And the force of attraction between the positively and negatively charged ion is very strong, and that helps them to make a crystal which is solid in state. Okay. The ionic compounds are brittle, means they can break easily and can be broken into pieces by applying pressure. अगर आप लोग आपका नमक ही घर का ले लेते हो एक एग्जाम्पल, if I try to break it with my hand, it can easily break because of the pressure that I'm applying, right? So this is a very simple example to understand that ionic compounds are brittle and then they could be broken into pieces by applying pressure. The intermolecular force of attraction is high in ionic compounds, and मतलब जो दो ionic compounds के बीच में जो force होता है that is very molecules के बीच में जो force होता है it is very high in an ionic compound, and large energy is required to overcome it. Therefore, the melting and boiling points of ionic compounds are high. ठीक है. So the reason between because of which the melting and the boiling point is high is this, कि जो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन है वो ज़्यादा है, एंड दैट इज़ द रीज़न उन लोगों को मेल्ट करने के लिए या बॉईल करने के लिए हाई टेम्परेचर का रिक्वायरमेंट होता है. Ionic compounds are water soluble, means you can dissolve it in water. If you take a very simple example of salt, ठीक है, I am just giving you a very simple example that you have already seen in your house, you have used in your house, so you can relate to that, and that way you can remember this entire concept of ionic compound. Alright. This is because the water molecules orient in a particular manner around the ion separated by dissociation process. As a result of this, a new force of attraction is established between the ion and the surrounding water molecules. जब ये ionic compounds पानी के अंदर dissolve होते हैं तो ये पानी के साथ में एक अलग तरीके का molecule form करने लगते हैं. Replacing the original intermolecular attraction, an aqueous solution of ionic compounds are formed. Okay. So ionic compounds के बारे में अगर और आप लोगों को जानना है तो there is a video which has been uploaded in 9th standard, so you can watch that also to have a better understanding of that. This is because unlike water, a new attractive force cannot be established in these solvents. Next property is the ionic compounds cannot conduct electricity. So this is very simple property. When it is in solid state, it cannot conduct electricity. In this state, the ions cannot leave their places. Electricity conduct करने के लिए ions need to move from one end to the other. But when they are in the solid state, they cannot move, and hence they cannot conduct electricity. Remember that. However, in the fused or the molten state, they can conduct electricity, as in the state the ions are mobile. Mobile means they can move from one place to the other. The aqueous solution of ionic compounds conduct electricity. जब ये dissolve होते हैं पानी के अंदर, they can conduct electricity as they contain the dissociated ions. On passing current through the solution, the ions move to the oppositely charged electrodes. Due to the electrical conductivity in fused and dissolved state, the ionic compounds are called as electrolytes. Now, अब तक हम लोगों ने इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स के बारे में बहुत पढ़े हैं, but here now you have understood, I hope you have understood the concept of electrolytes. When the compounds are mixed with water, they form an aqueous solution, right? And once they form this, what happens is they can conduct electricity, ठीक है, because of the positively charged, oppositely charged ions that are there, okay. And on passing current, the solution, in the solution, the ions which are there, they move to the opposite charged electrodes, and that way, due to electrical conductivity, infused or dissolved state, the ionic compounds are easily they can move from one place to the other, and they are called as electrolytes. The main name that we are going to learn, the meaning of the name of the chapter is metallurgy, right? So let us understand what exactly is the meaning of metallurgy. The science and technology regarding the extraction of metals from ores and their purification for the use is called as metallurgy. Now, as I told you in the very beginning of the chapter, that the metals and non-metals, the metalloids, the ores, we have got so many different things from the core of the earth, right? Over the period of time, जब earth बनी थी, existence में आई थी, तब से लेके अब तक, there has been many processes that has undergone, and there are many things that have come up, and we know that inside the earth surface there are many metals, non-metals, and you have various types of liquid gases which has been coming out from that. And one of the very important thing is ores. You have learned the meaning of ores, and these are nothing but impure forms of metals which are being obtained from the earth's surface, earth's crust, okay. The science and the technology where you are using in order to remove the metals from the ores, मतलब ये impure form होता है metals का, उसे प्योरीफाई किया जाता है और उसे यूज़ किया जाता है और उसे प्योर करके प्योर फॉर्म में मेटल्स निकाला जाता है उसमें से, उसे हम लोग कहते हैं मेटलर्जी, ठीक है. Let us see the occurrence of metals. Most metals being reactive do not occur in nature in free state but are found in combined state as their salts such as oxides, carbonates, sulfides and nitrates. So whenever you talk about a metal, metals as I told you they are highly reactive. तो उसे हमेशा फ्री स्टेट में आप लोगों को कहीं पर भी मिलेगा नहीं, वो कभी भी आप लोगों को कोई चीज़ के साथ में मिला हुआ रहता है या फिर कोई और फॉर्म में रहता है, लाइक एन ऑक्साइड, ठीक है, लाइक अ कार्बोनेट फॉर्म. अभी अगर वो ऑक्सीजन के साथ रिएक्ट कर रहा है तो इट विल फॉर्म एन ऑक्साइड, ओके. सो इट विल बी इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ, इन द स्टेट ऑफ ऑक्साइड. तो अगर हम लोगों को उसे मेटल को एक्सट्रैक्ट करना है तो दैट वी कैन डू विद द हेल्प ऑफ मेटलर्जी, ओके. However, the most unreactive metals that are not affected by air, water and other natural factors like silver, gold, platinum generally occur in free state. These compounds of metals that occur in nature along with the impurities are called as minerals. So here that you see pictures over here, ये आदमी के हाथ में जो मिट्टी जैसा है, these are nothing but minerals, these are impure forms of metals, ठीक है. इसे फिर प्योरिफिकेशन किया जाता है and then from that metals are being extracted and then the metals are used. The minerals from which the metals can be separated economically are called ores. Ores contain many types of impurities such as soil, sand and rocky substances along with the metal compounds, right? जैसे हम लोगों ने कहा था कि it is present beneath the earth, ठीक है. आप लोगों के ग्राउंड लेवल के बहुत नीचे से ये सारी चीज़ें एक्सट्रैक्ट की जाती है. तो नीचे क्या है, मेटल्स के साथ साथ बहुत सारी दूसरी चीज़ें जैसे कि सैंड है, सॉइल है, rocky substances as stones hai, gravels hai, these all things are coming up along with the compounds that are there. These impurities are called as gangue. Metals can be extracted from their ores by means of various method of separations, ठीक है. The process of extraction of metal in pure state from the ores is also a part of metallurgy. Ores are taken out from the mines and the gauge is usually separated from the ore at the site itself by various methods. Now, in your 6th standard, you all have learned a very simple method of separation of products, of things. कुछ मेटल अगर हम लोग के पास है और उसके अंदर कुछ सैंड वगैरह है तो हम लोग एक मैग्नेट यूज़ करते थे और उससे मेटल्स अलग हो जाता था और हमारे पास जो सैंड था वो अलग हो जाता, सेपरेट हो जाता था. Same thing here also, but little modified versions of machineries are used here in order to separate the ores from the waste product. Okay, so mostly it is done at that particular site only जहाँ से ये ore निकाला जाता है, उसे purify किया जाता है और उसे लाया जाता है for the commercial use. Alright, so then the metals are further purified by different methods of purification. This entire process is called as metallurgy. So from extracting the metals, which are not exactly metals, those are ores, from extracting the ores from the surface of the earth, okay, when they dig into the earth surface and they get out the ores, वो ores निकालने के बाद ores के अंदर बहुत सारी impurities होती है, those impurities are then they are separated from the metals by using various methods. वो करने के बाद जब उसे उसमें से metals उन लोगों को मिल जाते हैं, now those metals are again not in the pure form. फिर से उसे प्योरीफाई किया जाता है और उसे प्योरीफाई करने के लिए एक अलग से प्रोसेस होता है, एक अलग मेथड होता है. दोज मेथड्स ऑल्सो वी विल बी लर्निंग अहेड, सो डोंट वरी. एंड दैट एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ रिमूविंग द ओर till purification, this entire process is called as metallurgy. The basic principles of metallurgy are as follows. Pure metal is obtained from the ore by the following stages. First is concentration of ores. The process of separating the gangway from the ore is called concentration of ores. Means एक कोई भी एक मिट्टी की जगह है जहाँ से हम लोगों ने उसे खोद के निकाला है, ओर को निकाला है, उसके अंदर जो इम्प्योरिटीज़ है उसे सेपरेट करना है. ओके, दैट प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज concentration of ores. In this process, the concentration of the compound of the desired metal is increased. Various ways are used for this purpose. However, exact way to be used depends upon the physical property of the metals present in the ores and the gangway. It also depends upon the reactivity of the metal and the facilities available for the purification. Various factors that could be responsible for the environmental pollution are also considered. कि इसकी वजह से कुछ problems तो नहीं होंगे environment के अंदर, pollution तो नहीं create होगा, that needs to be considered. Some general methods for the concentration of ores are given below. Let us see that. First one is separation based on gravitation. Very simple method. The heavy particles of ores can be easily separated from the light particles of gangway by the gravitational method. This process is to carry out the separation are as follows given below. Wilfley table method. In this method of separation, the Wilfley table is made by fixing narrow and thin wooden riffles on inclined surface. Here you can see this inclined surface मतलब थोड़ा tilted surface होता है जिसे पतली पतली wooden riffles के साथ में बनाया जाता है. The table is kept vibrating continuously. ऐसा हिलता रहता है, slowly it keeps on moving, vibrating continuously. Okay. So when the ores, powdered ores, are obtained in the form of lumps of the ores using ball mill is poured on the table, and a stream of water is also released from the upper side. Here you can see the powdered ore is thrown from the upper side and there is water which is coming out, which falls onto the ores. Okay. As a result, the lighter gangway particles are carried away along with the flowing water, while the heavier particles, in which proportion of mineral is more and proportion of gangway is less, are blocked by the wooden riffles and are collected on the slit between them. So here you can see, जैसे ये पानी बहता है उसके ऊपर से तो क्या होगा, ये wooden riffles के बीच में जो minerals हैं वो फंसते चले जाएंगे और जो waste है वो बहता चला जाएगा from that wooden riffle. Okay, so that way this is one of the method by which the minerals can be extracted from the impurities, it could be separated. Okay. Next method that we have is hydraulic separation method. The hydraulic separation method is based on the working of a mill. There is a tapering vessel similar to that used in grinding mill. It opens in a tank like container that is tapering on the lower side. Here in this picture you can easily see this. I am reading out. You have to look it into the picture. Okay, so you have a tank like container जो नीचे की तरफ narrow होता जा रहा है और उसमें से डाला जाता है हमारा जो भी ore है. The tank has an outlet for water on the upper side. You can see that there is an upper side, on the upper side there is water outlet. and the water inlet on the lower side. Finally, ground ore is released in the tank. ये ore को डाला जाता है टैंक के अंदर. A forceful jet of water is introduced in the tank from the lower side. नीचे की तरफ से जोर से एक जेट पानी का छोड़ा जाता है. What happens because of that is the gangway particles are lighter and therefore they flow out along with the water jet. Okay, from the outlet on the upper side of the tank. You can see ऊपर की तरफ भी एक पाइप है जहाँ से ये पानी को बाहर फेंका जाता है. At the same time, the heavy particles क्या होगा of the ore they get collected at the bottom of the lower side of the tank. जो narrow हुआ tapering end है वहाँ पर सारा ore collect हो जाता है. In short, this method is used on the law of gravitation, wherein particles are the same size are separated by their weight with the help of water. ठीक है, तो very simple method. A huge tank is there which is tapering at the lower side and when a jet of water, high speed water फेंका जाता है ऊपर की तरफ और जो भी dust है, particles है, sand वगैरह है, they are light in weight. ठीक है, so what will happen, जो ऊपर की तरफ पानी का outlet है उसके थ्रू ये waste निकल जाता है और the minerals which are there, the ore which is there inside it, ठीक है, which is slightly heavier than the gangway particles, it settles down. Okay, and when they settle down they can easily be separated from the waste. So it is very simple. Next you have magnetic separation method. This method requires an electromagnetic machine. The main parts of this machine are two types of iron rollers and the conveyor belt moving continuously around them. Here you can see these two things. One of the roller is non-magnetic and while the other one is electromagnetic. The conveyor belt moving around the roller is non-magnetic, made up of leather or brass. This जो पट्टा दिखाई दे रहा है ये leather या brass का बना होता है. And the powdered ore is poured on the conveyor belt near the non-magnetic roller. The two collectors here you can see, जो दो rollers है, एक जो पीछे की तरफ है वो non-magnetic है और जो भी आगे वाला है it is magnetic, electromagnetic. The two collector vessels are placed below the magnetic roller. दो box दिखाई दे रहे हैं. Okay. The particles of the non-magnetic part in the ore are not attracted towards the magnetic roller. Therefore, they are carried further along with the belt and fall in the collector vessel. Here you can see जो non-magnetic material है वो पहले ही गिर जाता है और जो magnetic material है particles है वो along with the roller they will move ahead. At the same time, the particles of the magnetic ingredients of the ore stick to the magnetic roller and therefore fall in the collector vessels near the magnetic roller. Okay, so this diagram is very easy to understand the entire method here, how it is done. In this way, the magnetic and non-magnetic ingredients in the ore can be separated depending on their magnetic nature. For example, cassiterite is a thin ore. It contains mainly the non-magnetic ingredient stannic oxide and the magnetic ingredient ferrous tungstate. These are separated by the electromagnetic method. Froth flotation method, a very easy method. Okay, this is also very simple. Just look at the picture, it will help you understand. The froth flotation method is based on the opposite properties, hydraulic and hydrophobic, of the particles. Here the particles of the metal sulfides, due to their hydrophobic property, get wetted mainly with oil, while due to the hydrophilic property, the gangway particles get wetted with water. एक होता है जो ओर होते हैं वो पानी से जो ओर होते हैं वो तेल से वेट हो रहे हैं और जो गैंगवे पार्टिकल्स है वो पानी से वेट हो जाते हैं. By using these properties, certain ores are concentrated by froth flotation method. In this method, the finely ground ore is put into a big tank containing ample amount of water. यहाँ पर आप लोगों को दिख रहा है एक टैंक है जिसमें बहुत सारा पानी है और इसके अंदर फाइनली ग्राउंड मतलब फाइन पाउडर करके ओर को डाला जाता है. And there is a certain amount of vegetable oil which is put into this solution. Okay, पानी के साथ में तेल भी डाला जाता है. Mostly it is pine oil which is used or eucalyptus oil which is added in the water for the formation of froth और जिसके वजह से झाग बनना शुरू होता है. Froth is nothing but झाग आना. ठीक है. Pressurized air is blown through the water योर नीचे आप लोगों को दिख रहा है एक हवा का एक चैनल चलता रहता है जिसकी वजह से ये फ्रॉथ बनता जाता है. देर इज एन एजिटेटर रोटेटिंग अराउंड इट्स एक्सिस इन द सेंटर ऑफ द फ्लोटेशन टैंक. बीच में आप लोगों को एक पंखा जैसा दिखाई दे रहा है. दैट इज एन एजिटेटर विच कीप्स द इंटायर टैंक, वो जो जितना भी पानी है, तेल है, प्रेशर है, सब वो मिक्स करने में हेल्प करता है. ठीक है. द एजिटेटर इज यूज एज पर द रिक्वायरमेंट. नाउ once this all thing starts, bubbles tend to form due to the blown air. Due to agitation, a foam is formed from the oil, water and air bubble together due to the agitating. This foam rises on the surface of water and floats. Here आप लोग को जो आपको पानी वाइट वाइट आप लोगों को सब्सटेंस दिख रहा है टैंक के ऊपर, दैट इज द फ्रोथ दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. जो फोम बना है वो है वो. ठीक है. That is why this mentioned method is called froth flotation process. Particles of certain sulfides ore float with the foam on water as they preferentially get wetted by the oil. ये सारी चीज़ें पानी से वेट नहीं होती है, ऑयल से वेट होती है, इसीलिए ये मेथड देर आर सर्टन सल्फाइड्स जिनके लिए ये मेथड यूज़ होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस मेथड इज़ यूज फॉर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ जिंक ब्लेंड एंड कॉपर पायराइट. Okay, so it is a very simple process. If you just look at the image here of how this entire thing works, it is very simple to understand what are the things which are involved here and how it processes. Okay, the last one that we have is leaching. The first step in the extraction of metal, aluminium, gold and silver from their ore is the method of leaching. In this method, the ore is soaked in a certain solution for a long time. पहले ये solution को soak किया जाता है, पानी में डुबा के रखा जाता है. The ore dissolves in that solution due to a specific chemical reaction. Then the gangway, however, does not react with the chemicals which are added. ठीक है. तो ऐसा केमिकल ऐड किया जाता है जहाँ पर वो रिएक्ट, गैंगवे जो वेस्ट है वो रिएक्ट नहीं करता, सिर्फ जो ओर है वो रिएक्ट करता है. सो इट कैन बी सेपरेटेड easily. For example, concentration of bauxite, the aluminium ore is done by leaching method. Here bauxite is soaked in aqueous sodium hydroxide or aqueous solution which dissolves the main ingredient alumina in it. ठीक है. So this is the actual thing how it goes on. This picture is not there in your textbook, so you can have a look at this process how it is carried out. Next we will understand corrosion of metals. Very important method, very important part of the chapter that you need to understand. You must have seen that there are old iron bars of the building, copper vessels not cleaned for a long time, silver ornaments or idols which are exposed to air for a long time, old abandoned vehicles fit to be thrown away. नाउ आप लोगों ने बारिश के सीज़न में या फिर ऐसा कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि रोड के कोई साइड पे या बिल्डिंग के कहीं नीचे एक ऐसी गाड़ी खड़ी होती है जो पूरी तरीके से रस्ट उसके ऊपर जमा हो गया है, बहुत सालों तक उसको किसने हाथ नहीं लगाया है, साफ़ नहीं किया है, तो बहुत बुरी कंडीशन में होती है. ना इफ़ यू लुक एट इट क्लोजली यू विल फाइंड दैट देयर इज रस्ट विच हैज़ बीन फॉर्म्ड ओवर इट. ठीक है. रस्ट के बारे में हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपन्स इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ रस्टिंग. Okay, so that is what we are talking about in this topic. Rusting of iron articles causes large financial loss because there are huge monuments like the Statue of Liberty. You can see the Statue of Liberty is not blue in color that you can see. It is because of the rust and the chemical reactions over the period of time it has turned like this in color. ठीक है. तो इट इज़ अ वेरी ह्यूज फाइनेंशियल लॉस. अगर ब्रिजेस होते हैं जिसके ऊपर अगर रस्ट लग जाता है तो उसे चेंज करने में इतनी सारा अमाउंट लग जाता है. सो इट इज़ अ ह्यूज फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर फैमिली. इफ अगर कुछ वैसा नुकसान हो जाता है, रस्ट लग जाता है कोई चीज़ को, तो दस कोरोजन ऑफ आयरन दैट इज रस्टिंग इज़ अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम. हियर यू कैन सी दिस इज़ हाउ इट एक्चुअली हैपन्स. जब मेटल होता है उसके ऊपर अगर पानी बार बार गिरता रहता है एंड इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन द मेटल्स टेंड टू it gets the corrosion takes place and the rust has formed over here. You can see in this picture very clearly. This is how the rust looks. I hope अब आ गया होगा आइडिया कि रस्टिंग किसे कहते हैं, corrosion of metals किसे कहते हैं. Iron reacts with moist air. Moist air means पानी होता है हमारी एयर के अंदर. You must have seen or you know the meaning of moist, right? तो नमी होती है जब एयर के अंदर, इट रिएक्ट्स, द आयन रिएक्ट्स विद दैट moist air and a deposit of reddish substance is formed on it. This substance is called rust. Carbon dioxide in moist air also reacts with the surface of copper vessels. Copper loses its luster, means the copper vessel doesn't shine, and due to the formation of greenish layer of copper carbonate on its surface. This is called as patination of copper. On exposure to air, silver articles turn blackish after some time. You can see, आप लोगों के घरों में भी आप लोगों ने देखे होंगे, अगर चांदी का कोई बर्तन हमारे घर में रखा हुआ होता है तो इट टर्न्स blackish in color. Okay, not completely dark black, but it turns grayish color और थोड़ा black हो जाता है. Now this is because of the layer of silver sulfide formed by the reaction of silver with hydrogen sulfide in the air. एज वी हैव लर्न के एयर के अंदर बहुत सारे अलग अलग गैसेज भी प्रेजेंट है अलॉन्ग विथ जो हम लोग ने नॉर्मली पढ़े हैं. तो हाइड्रोजन सल्फाइड गैस इज ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट इन एयर एंड दैट रिएक्ट्स विद द आयन आर्टिकल्स दैट द सिल्वर आर्टिकल्स दैट आर देयर kept exposed. By oxidation of aluminium, a thin layer of aluminium oxide forms on it. Let us understand the prevention of corrosion. किस तरीके से हम लोग प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं corrosion. Now there are few methods here, very simple, and you must have seen it in your houses also. Okay, so there are various methods which are used to protect metals from corrosion. Special attention is paid in almost all the methods so that iron doesn't catches rust. Okay, so we can lower the rates of the process of rusting of iron. Corrosion of metals can be stopped by keeping metals isolated, मतलब अलग तरीके से रखेंगे, ना कि उसे एयर के डायरेक्ट कॉन्टैक्ट में. लाइक सिल्वर आइटम्स, यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट योर मदर्स इन योर फैमिली, you must have seen that iron the silver ornaments are kept, they are not kept exposed, they are wrapped in a pink color paper and they are kept properly and in a box and it is kept inside. Okay, now why do they do so? Because when they keep it exposed, अगर हम लोग ऐसे ही रखेंगे ना, so it will react with what, it will react with air and again that silver ornament will turn black in color. So in order to avoid that, it has to be kept isolated. अलग से रखा जाता है उसे, दूसरे मेटल्स के साथ में नहीं रखा जाता, उसे हवा में डायरेक्ट एक्सपोज नहीं रखा जाता है. द प्रिवेंशन ऑफ कोरोजन कैन बी अचीव्ड बाय वेरियस वेज. ना रिमेंबर, ये हम लोग सिल्वर ऑर्नामेंट्स के लिए, आइटम्स के लिए कर सकते हैं जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हैं. बट सपोज हमारे घर की जो रेलिंग्स हैं, जो स्लाइडिंग्स वगैरह होती हैं, जो रेलिंग्स होती हैं, डोर्स होते हैं, आयरन रॉड्स जो लगे हुए होते हैं हमारे बिल्डिंग के आसपास, फेंसिंग होती है, those are very huge. You cannot protect it every time, you cannot keep it tied up with something, right? So what are the things that could be done? To fix a layer of some substance on the metal surface so that the contact of the metal with the moisture and oxygen in the air is prevented and no reaction could occur between them. So there are different types of paints, lubricants, oil, grease, varnishes which are used in order to apply over those मेटल रॉड्स विच आर देयर, सो दैट अगर एक पेंट का लेयर होगा ना तो वो एयर डायरेक्टली वो रॉड के ऊपर नहीं लगेगी, डायरेक्टली रिएक्ट नहीं करेगी मेटल के साथ में, एंड देयर इज अ प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर बिटवीन द टू. ओके, सो दैट वे द मेटल रॉड्स कुड बी प्रोटेक्टेड. हम लोग देखते हैं ना हमारे घर की जो रेलिंग्स वगैरह होती है, जो ग्रिल्स होती है, उससे ब्लैक कलर का या ब्राउन कलर का पेंट किया जाता है, एंड दैट इज़ डन बिकॉज कि ताकि ओवर द ईयर्स उस पर जंग ना लग जाए. ठीक है, हमारी साइकिल्स के अंदर भी हम लोग बार बार उसकी ऑयलिंग करते रहते हैं, ग्रीस लगाते हैं. क्यों किया जाता है? अगेन इन ऑर्डर टू अवॉइड रस्टिंग. ओके, so in order to prevent corrosion of metals by applying a layer of paint, oil, grease or varnish on their surfaces. For example, corrosion of iron can be prevented by this method. The next process of prevention of corrosion is galvanizing. Now what exactly is galvanizing? In this method, a thin layer of zinc is applied to prevent corrosion of iron or steel. For example, shining iron nails, pins, etc. In this method of corrosion of zinc occurs first because zinc is more electropositive than iron. After a few rainy seasons, the zinc layer goes away and the inner iron gets exposed. Then the iron starts rusting. Okay? So पहला एक मेथड है कोरोजन प्रिवेंट करने के लिए कि वो मेटल को किसी और मेटल के साथ में या किसी और चीज़ के साथ में कोट कर दिया जाए. सो गैल्वेनाइजिंग इज वन ऑफ दैट मेथड. Okay. The next method, the process for prevention of corrosion, is tinning. In this method, a layer of molten tin is deposited on metal. We call this as kalai. You must have heard your parents often using कि इसे kalai करा देते हैं. A greenish layer forms on the surface of copper or brass vessels. हमारे घरों में हंडे कलसी होते हैं ना, तांबे के, पीतल के, तो उसके ऊपर एक ग्रीन कलर का लेयर जम जाता है. तो उसे निकालने के लिए क्या किया जाता है, उसे प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए देयर इज मोल्टन टिन, जो एक और एक मेटल है, इट इज कोटेड ओवर इट. ओके, so this greenish layer is poisonous. If buttermilk or curry is placed in such a vessel, it gets spoiled. So tinning is done to prevent all such damages. All right. Next method is anodization. In this method, metals like copper, aluminium are coated with a thin and strong of their layer of their oxides by means of electrolysis. For this, the copper or aluminium article is used as an anode. As this oxide layer is strong and uniform all over the surface, it is useful for prevention of the corrosion of the metal. Okay, so this is also very interesting method. Here you can see metals को electrically उन्हें coat किया जाता है and it helps the metal from the corrosion and it doesn't get corroded very easily. यूजली यर किस लिए यूज़ हुआ जाता है, ये किस मेटल्स पे यूज़ किया जाता है, फॉर कॉपर एंड एल्यूमिनियम इट इज़ यूज. नेक्स्ट मेथड फॉर प्रिवेंशन ऑफ कोरोजन इज इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग. In this method, a less reactive metal is coated on a more reactive metal by electrolysis. Okay, so silver plated spoons, gold plated ornaments are the examples of electroplating. मतलब अगर एक हम लोग ज्वेलरी की शॉप में कभी कभार होती है जहाँ पर हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि सिल्वर प्लेटेड है, गोल्ड प्लेटेड है. ना गोल्ड प्लेटेड मीन्स व्हाट, एक सादा सा मेटल, कोई भी मेटल हो सकता है, आयरन हो सकता है, कॉपर हो सकता है, ब्रास हो सकता है. Now those metals are very reactive. Everybody knows that. It is very reactive. So what do they do is they coat it with silver or they coat it with gold. मतलब उसे एक लेयर, पतला सा एक लेयर होता है गोल्ड का एंड और इट कुड बी सिल्वर. उसे उससे डिप किया जाता है और उसे प्लेट किया जाता है उससे. ओके, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग. वेरी interesting thing that you all need to know. Next is alloying. Majority of the metallic substances used presently are in the form of alloys. The main intention behind this is to decrease the intensity of corrosion of metals. मतलब जल्दी से वो खराब ना हो. ठीक है. The homogeneous mixture formed by mixing a metal with other metals or non-metals is in certain proportion is called an alloy. For example, bronze is an alloy formed from 90% copper and 10% tin. Bronze statues do not get affected by sun and rain. Stainless steel does not get stains with air or water and also does not rust. हमारे घरों में जो स्टेनलेस स्टील के बर्तन इस्तेमाल होते हैं, चम्मच है, प्लेट्स है, ग्लास है, all these things are made up of stainless steels. Everybody knows कि ये कितने efficient है. You can use it anywhere in any condition. किसी भी तरीके कहाँ से भी गिरता है तो टूटता नहीं है, ख़राब नहीं होता है, रस्ट नहीं पकड़ता है, उसका कलर नहीं चेंज होता है, बिकॉज इट इज़ एन अलॉय which is made up of 74% of iron and 18% of chromium and 8% carbon. In recent times, various types of alloys are used for minting coins also. तो हमारे जो coins वगैरह जो हम लोग यूज़ करते हैं वो भी they are made up of different types of alloys. All right.
If you like the session, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can share and view the videos that we had today for you. And please do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you remain updated with all the latest videos that we'll be making for our dear students.
This session was quite useful to you. In the next coming period, we'll learn something new and interesting. Till then, thank you.